Hi Aquarius, this is Christian and I am here to do a reading for you guys. I hope that you guys are having a great week, month, year, day. Well, I know, maybe the year has been a little crazy, but this reading is going to be timeless. So whenever you are getting this reading, it is the perfect time for you to be receiving it. If you're listening to it, that means it's meant for you at this time, Aquarius. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle. We're going to pull from the Psychic Tarot of the Heart and just get a general energy for you guys to start out with. Let's see here. What's going on with... Okay, I want to come out pretty quick. All right, you guys are in the cycle of... This is the Six of Pentacles, so you guys are giving and receiving. And this card comes after a time of maybe where you were kind of feeling left out in the cold, maybe where you kind of were feeling like you were lacking or you're being left outside of something. Usually this is to do with abundance and maybe jobs. So there could be some transition at work to where you may have been cut off from your job and maybe you're finding another job. Maybe you could have... been feeling left out. Whatever the feeling is, it's kind of just ostracized from a group or from the place that you belong. And a lot of times when we're in that particular space, it comes as a lesson to teach us what we need to be able to do to be able to receive abundance, or how to open back up the flow of abundance in our lives. And when I say abundance, I'm not necessarily talking about finances, while it could be, with a strong emphasis on that. I believe that finances and money in the material world, it's a manifestation of the inner world. So if at any point in time we're feeling that we lack within, then so it will match, on the outside. Okay. And a lot of you guys, maybe sometimes this is where we don't feel comfortable asking for help. And I want to let you know that that's not a bad thing. And that does not mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're prideful, because a lot of people say, oh, you're too prideful to ask for help. And maybe some people tell you that or something like that. Well, no, what if every time I did ask for help, every time I did reach out or I did need someone, the support that I needed was never given to me? Or maybe what if the support was given to me and then it was thrown back in my face? So some of those things are with good reasons. Now, I'm not like going to be fluffy and just say that that's the only reason. Maybe sometimes this comes as a lesson, like pride, and then we cling on to our things so much that life, our status, who we are, the things that we have around us, so we cling on to a moment so much that the only way that life can teach us to be able to move beyond that level of understanding or that space in our life or of our experience is to let us lack for a little while. And then that way we can know to reach for a deeper meaning, to reach for a deeper understanding or a deeper sense of fulfillment, especially as it pertains to relationships. Because for some of you, there can be two reasons we could end up in a state of lack. One of them could be where we've been hoarding, where we've kind of been trying to hold on and grasp onto something so tightly that we lose it. And the other is that we've given away too freely. We've given ourselves so freely, so abundantly. We've given more. We've been the overgiver and overfunctioning in our relationships. And then I always say the universe cuts off its black card. So if you guys understand what a black card is, you know that it's a card that kind of doesn't have a limit. Well, I'm sure it does, but for the people that have it, they're not worried about a credit card limit, right? So I feel like we all have access to this universal black card. But it's just like if let's just say the universe sent us off to college and we were the student and we had this card, this black card, and anytime we needed something, we just swipe the card. We're just learning how to use it, right? But then our friends start saying, hey, I need this. And then we swipe it for them. And then another friend says they need this and you swipe it for them. And the next thing you know, everybody needs a new pair of shoes and they need this and they need all these unnecessary things. And you've used that privilege on everyone instead of the real purpose, that it was supposed to serve. It was supposed to be for you to make sure that you were okay. So then in the end, the parent comes and says, you know what, I'm going to teach you a lesson. I'm going to take away that black card. And sometimes that's what the universe does to us, only to show us how to properly use that. Okay, maybe we didn't spend it on everybody else. Maybe we spent it on ourselves. Spending that black card on ourselves is actually holding on to a moment. When we hold on to something past its expiration date, it costs us a lot to be able to do that. So this is that holding on. This is coming out of a place of holding on to things that no longer serve us, or that feeling of being left out in the cold. And this is coming back, getting back in the cycle of things coming into you, abundance coming in, and you giving and you receiving, you learning how to open up that channel so that you can do both in a healthy way, okay? Especially if it's relationships with people or something like that. This is you getting back to that place to where you're starting to receive what it is that you put out. And sometimes that's the only reason that the universe puts you in that space. It's not necessarily because the universe wants to see you fail. It's only wired to be able to do the best thing for you, even if sometimes that comes through things that may seem like adversity or things that may seem like hardship to us. Usually it's in our best interest, okay? So that's kind of what we're going to this time with Aquarius. Let's see. And I'm going to pull from the let me remember what the name of this deck is, because I'm the grand forgetter of the names of the deck. This is the Archangel Oracle card. The Archangel Oracle card. So let's see. What does Aquarius need to know at this time? Okay. Oh, you know what? I knew that this card would come out. I absolutely 100% knew it. I don't know why. I don't know how. Well, yeah, that's kind of how reading stuff works. But anyway, it's here. And it's Archangel Sandalphon. And it's saying your prayers have been heard and answered. Have faith. So, yeah. This is definitely overcoming. Remember that time period that I was talking about of being without. And the victory comes in with me feeling like there has been... The universe is acknowledging that you've learned from whatever it was that caused you to be in that space. 1 second, guys. I feel like the camera's smudgy. Whatever you needed to learn in that lesson, learn in that space, I feel like it is something that's been, that has been learned. It is something that you have taken in. You've answered the call. It's like a hooray, from the universe, that like, yes, you finally done what you need to do. And if it has not showed up yet to where you can see it in the 3D, you really, really have to hold on to the fact that, that you've mastered this and you've gotten past it. Another thing about the Six of Pentacles, when we're dealing with the Pentacles cards, it's a lot of 3D. It's a lot of the body. It's a lot of the physical. It's a lot of the material. I'm trying to, it's more than just money. It's more than just, what we can spend and what we can. I really like to focus on this. Like, these people are holding these in their hands. I believe that money is just a paper form of energy, right? So it's saying that you've learned how to manage your energy a little bit better, and soon the results show in the physical form, whatever way that may be. But I want to give you the time, the reality of it is there is a buffer period between this and that, because it's almost like a wheel, like just think of it like a little mountain, and you push like a mountain like this, and you push a big boulder to the top, and it takes a lot of work to get it there, right? So right when you get to the top and it starts to roll on the other side, the more and more it falls down, the faster it goes, the more momentum it picks up. But there is the point between you getting there and it, you having to push till it actually starts rolling by itself. So I feel like for some of you, you are not at the point where it's exactly rolling, and this may be kind of what maybe some of you guys, what may be on your mind right now, because, hey, I've changed, I've let go of these things, I've done better, I'm improving myself, I'm working. Why do I not see the results instantly? Well, things don't work. It doesn't mean that it's not working if you don't actually see it work. You see what I'm saying? Like, these people are not holding coins in their hands. It's the energy, right? So if you can be responsible with what you're doing with your energy, how you treat your energy at this time is how your abundance is going to appear. So if you're being very resourceful, very responsible, even if you don't have it to show in the tangible yet, it's going to manifest itself if you keep on, if you can celebrate your own victory. I'm sorry, it took me a second there. I was trying to get more information. And when you can celebrate your own victory and you can celebrate that phase, because the win is not you don't have to have things to show for your win. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. You don't have to see it to know that you did. You have to hold the vibration of getting out of an energy and look at it at that level, right? So if your mindset is different, if you're happy and it's just a day in the park and it's not like eating this fabulous meal with all of your friends or sitting on a yacht or an island, it's no different than what you will feel then. So if you can start to feel that now, it will definitely show up. There's going to be a harmony with the 6 right here, with the way that you're feeling and you're outside. It just may be a little bit delayed beyond, you know, what you feel or think that it should be, right? So that's that on that. All right. Nextly, let me go get this. I'm gonna do some before tarot today. I'm gonna pull a couple of tarot cards here, and let's see what messages Spirit have for you guys at this time. Spirit, what messages do you have for Aquarius at this time? Let's see. Yeah, so this is the before tarot. Usually this is kind of before the but it's supposed to be before, so it's almost like before the swords got put in. But the way that I'm kind of seeing it is like the reverse of it, because usually this card comes with the swords, so the 3 swords piercing the heart. And I kind of feel like you're coming out of that time to where you've been kind of held down. This sadness is kind of being removed. It's not happening that way anymore. Like Spirit is coming through to let you know that we're reversing some of the effects of the things that you've done in that time. Maybe some of the, it's almost like I'm seeing like on a, oh, it's just funny because what was I just watching? If you guys watched the Umbrella Academy, I just discovered that show, so don't judge me because I heard that it was old. But you know, like you're in one of those scenes where time kind of goes backwards and then you have a chance to press play again and then you get to do it all over again, and then you can make the right decision when it reverses. And I kind of feel like that is kind of what's going on. There's still some undoing of some of the things that you've some of the energetic things that you've done. Spirit is wanting you to fully understand how you, before we can move on to where we can see it that way. It's like almost like this. Okay, if we can guarantee you or let you know that for sure you have a victory, like this state of being that you're in, these times that you've come through, Spirit is like, we can guarantee you that you have this victory. We see the card right there. You're going to overcome this, right? So if you know that, if we can make you be certain that that is going to come out, if we could promise you that this is the outcome, can you make a deal, a promise, like the giving and the receiving? If we can give you this, you know, it's the exchange, the giving and the receiving. If we're going to do this for you, can you give back? What will you give in the space? Because you're being guaranteed the victory already. So can you understand and fully embrace and take in the ways and the mindsets that took you to be in that space? What made you feel like you had to overgive to relationships? Especially if this is love, with the 3 of swords here. What made you feel like you had to overgive in relationships? What is that part of you that makes you feel like you have to keep yourself away from relationships, or that makes you feel like you have to hold on to a certain experience or a certain status in life? What is the deeper meaning of that? Spirit is wanting you to understand how you broke your own heart. That's basically the the message that I'm kind of getting in this card. Spirit is wanting you to understand how you've done the damage. And sometimes it can be painful to look back at that, because sometimes when people have taken from us, right? Like if you've been in a relationship, not necessarily romantic, but it could be our friendship or any situation where you have given more than the other person is given. And then you have this wake up moment where you're like, I have nothing left to give, no more energy to give. Like this person took everything from me. It is very disheartening to think that people actually do that. And we can say all day that this person took from me, this person took from me, this person took from me, right? But as you can see, it's not one time that's happened. It's over and over and over. So the common theme or the common thread is something here that's unhealed, okay? And not to say that it means something is wrong with your heart, like you're not a sweet, a loving, or a giving person. But whenever we overfunction in a relationship or we underfunction in a relationship, it only appears as the result of it only appears in our outer experience as a result of what we're feeling on the inside. So Spirit is saying, before you send yourself into pain again, or into this kind of this sorrow again, or that place of lack, or that place where you're feeling kind of left out or unabundant, can we investigate what took us to that point? So that way, when you walk into this victory that you're going to get, that you're guaranteed, that you can make sure that you won't go back into that space again. They're wanting you to be a little bit more responsible with your heart. And there's nothing wrong with being a giver. It's nothing wrong with being a lover. It's nothing wrong with wanting to show people that you appreciate them and you love them, and wanting to share your be generous and give generosity and prosperity to other people. But when we're over giving it as a result of, as a need for an underlying need to keep them around or to keep people happy and to not upset people, then there's a chance that once we get it again, then we'll do that same, we'll go back into those same habits. So before it can appear, Spirit is really wanting you to understand that, the way that we've kind of done those things to ourselves, okay? So not so we can sit and blame ourselves. You're supposed to look at these things with an eye of with observation. All day I've been telling myself, observation, not judgment. Observation, not judgment. And that's been helping me, like, not just saying it today, but just in general, walking around with the energy of observation, not observation, and not not judgment. So that means that you're looking at it and you're saying sticky note. That's my thing. Let's just put a sticky note on it. Let's put a sticky note right there, right? And then we're saying, okay, noted. I'll do this differently. It doesn't mean you have to go into the space of blaming yourself. It doesn't mean you have to figure out who else is wrong and who else did anything. That's not the gist of it. The gist is just to identify that these are potential ways that I can find out about myself, so that in the future I don't bring that to myself again. Okay, so that's that. And then we're gonna pull a card from the numerology, or guys, that as advice. Let's see here, what advice do we have for Aquarius at this time? Rebirth. So you see here, this is you coming out of that cycle, going into this victory. This is kind of what I was talking about, the change that comes as a result of you changing your mind, you're renewing your mind, you're thinking about it. Now that you've changed your energy, you know where you want to be. Let's understand what we can do to be able to keep it, and not just to have it once, because that's what we've done before. We've had the power before, but we weren't able to keep it. So this is Spirit wanting you to get into that place where you can kind of learn the lessons of your past, so that you don't put yourself in those same situations again. The 16 is the card, the card of in the tarot. It's the Tower card, and what it makes me think of is that usually a lot of times the Tower energy is very sudden, very lightning, like out of nowhere, like it strikes us down, right? And a lot of people, it can be taken in as a negative energy, because usually it's like, good to do, having a great day, boom, life is not great anymore, right? And I believe that this is that moment of the snatching of the black card, right, from you. But also when you have with it showing up in this reading, and sometimes when you have that Tower energy to bring that transformation, it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it comes in just as quick as it took something out. So this means that moment that this victory can come in out of nowhere, but we don't want to wait on it. It's untimely. Like with the Tower moment, you can't predict the time that it's going to happen. So don't fixate yourself on when is it going to happen, when is it going to happen, when is it going to happen, because with the Tower energy of being around, that transformation that you're wanting to see on the outside is going to come in without you knowing it and without me knowing it. This is what I feel like sometimes with the Tower card, when people ask about timing and things like that. Like death means like, okay, you're seeing it right now. Like you're understanding that this is going to happen. Or death for me could mean like, okay, you probably are moving into this gradual change that you see things are coming to an end and it's kind of about to be a change. The thing about the Tower and the 16, that moment is one where, okay, we know it's going to happen, but we're not going to know the day. It's like a person that doesn't, a person that's pregnant that doesn't exactly know their due date. They know like around the time, but they don't know exactly the minute or the day or the hour. It kind of just like, it's time to have the baby, right? So that is, unless it's induced. So yeah, that's what I would call it. Death would be like inducing the labor, right? Where we know when it's going to happen, we scheduled it. But the Tower is like that birth that you were, eating, at brunch, and then all of a sudden your water broke. That's that kind of energy. So you're not going to know when that's going to come. But Spirit doesn't want you to worry about when it's going to come. It's going to. They just want you to do the work in the meantime to be able to facilitate that coming in, okay? Last card here. Okay, that one's will come out really quick. Look, energetic. Okay, you got two cards. Yeah, play, have fun, celebrate. Don't be so serious. This has to do with sitting there like, when is it gonna come? When is it gonna come? When is it gonna happen? No, you already are supposed to be kind of celebrating this because you've come out of a dark time. Don't look for the next. Sometimes life gives us these moments where we need to relax, we need a break, we need a breather. And sometimes we're so busy, we're so we miss the forest for the trees. Is it? Yeah, we miss the forest for the trees. And we think so much about like, let's get to the next place. I can't see it. It's not happening. Let's move, let's move, let's move. And it's kind of like, no, sit in this energy so you can fully understand what it feels like to overcome what you've been through. Like honor your process, honor your journey by giving yourself that space to be able to feel those things. And in the space of that, that's because what it's doing is it's healing you in that space, and you're gaining this understanding of how you can never go back there. But if we try to rush this, what we're going to do is we're going to force it. And if we try to force it without the necessary understanding that we need, all it's going to do is bring back up the whole situation starting over, and you kind of have to start over from scratch, and that's kind of not what you want. So you want to kind of tune into that. And then awakening here, energetic upgrade. So you see, this is happening for you. It's like it's being done. It's not exactly complete yet. So don't it's almost like a bear like waking up in after hibernation. It doesn't just instantly go back to everything being the same. It kind of has to work its way into the groove, right? So allow yourself to wake up. Think of that when you wake up in the morning. You kind of like have to stretch. You kind of have to yawn. You yawn. You get your eyes focused. You may look at whatever your process is when you wake up. You don't just boom get up and go. It takes you a minute. Maybe some people have coffee, tea. Maybe you take a shower. Whatever you do in the morning, just think about yourself as a whole like that. Like you kind of have to wake up, rebirth. All right. So it's like you're being born again. This is a new energy. It's not the same energy that you've been in. So you need to get acclimated with it before you start to you're going devout, mess up things. It's almost like if you need you get something out of the box and it needs instructions to put together, and you just want it so bad that you just don't even look at the instructions, and then you kind of mess it up, and then you have to take the time to take it apart and put it back together again, and you don't want to do that. So that's another message there. Awakening. I'm going to read that to you. Let's see. Do these go in order? That'd be nice. It definitely did not go in order. Let's see. Let me find awakening for y'all. Where is awakening? That does say awakening, right? Why do I feel like this is the one card that I don't care how many times I look through this book, that one thing when I look at the table of contents, I never can find that card on the table of contents. I'm going to read this to you, okay? Energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. You are going through a period of awakening. Things are changing within you and at many levels. You are starting to remember ancient truths and discovering more and more about who you are and why you incarnated. You may find that you experience past life flashbacks. Okay, and I want to pause and say this. You may be having strong dreams right now and seeing like storylines and timelines that aren't yours, but they could be very, very similar to your life. Like maybe you'll be in other times. You'll be maybe a woman if you're a man if you're a woman, but it could be like you're seeing another person's almost like another person's life, but the theme of the dream could be the same. This is kind of showing you before who you were before. I know some of you guys maybe don't go that deep and think about like past lives and things like that, but this is kind of like showing you how you got there. You kind of get what I'm saying? Like Spirit is trying to show you how you got to this point. That way you never go back there again. You may find that you're experiencing past life flashbacks, seeing the invisible thread that is woven through all of life. Even feeling your Kundalini Shakti rise through your body from the base spine, from the base of your spine. So it's like awakening. The most important thing for this time is not to overthink it and to stay grounded. Share your experiences with like soul people while you consciously integrate them. Journal and pay attention to your dreams. Oh, there we go. Pay attention to your dreams. You are remembering, and your soul gifts are emerging. During this time of transition and awakening, you may be called to devote yourself to being of service. There are ideas, truths, concepts, books, and creations waiting to be birthed into the world. Stay open to receiving them. Pulling this card may be a sign that you are here to birth one of these creations into the world, or perhaps you're being called to make a shift in your life in order to be of service. Don't think too much about it. Instead, repeat the following work your light activation. It says, I surrender to my awakening. I'll allow the energy to rise from the base of my spine. I open up myself to the universe using me in a way that delights my mind, body, and spirit. So I'm just kind of getting another thing here. I forget that the six of Pentacles is a card of generosity and is a card of service. So it may be some of you, your calling is to be of service, which is why you have this need to give. You see what I'm saying? That might be the reason why you feel like that. But in order for you to consciously use that gift that you have of giving, because everybody doesn't want to give and everybody doesn't care about doing stuff for other people like you do. But you guys have a sign that does. You have to learn how to be responsible with it, because remember what I said about the people at college. They're always gonna need from you. You have to be able to discern when it's time for you to give and when it's time for you not to give, right? Because if we listen to every story of every person saying they need something, then it depletes us of what we need to give to the people who actually need those things and need you, so that goes to also that has to do with energy as well. Like if you spend so much time on a certain person in a certain type of way, giving to them, then the people that the universe meant for you to give to may never get it. So you have to learn the lesson about who and what and discernment as you give, having discernment with giving. There's nothing wrong with doing for people and giving to people, but we have to have discernment in how we give so that we can have enough for the people that it's meant for, because only a few people in the world are givers, right? So we have to be very, very careful with who we give to, or you could change people's, you can make a difference in people's lives, depending on what you give to them. And so if the wrong person gets it and the right person doesn't, then what is to say for their story. You can make a difference in people's lives. Okay, but this is more so about you. This card right here, this card indicates a time of major transition and transformation that will result in significant personal growth. By drawing this card, you have entered a period of spiritual awakening and rebirth where you have the opportunity to align with your higher self and the overarching principles that guide you. This is where you surrender to the changes around you and prepare to be the best you can. You are being encouraged to trust and believe that a magical future awaits. But first, you need to let go of the old in order to experience the new. Take the time to evaluate your core values and re-examine your life. Then eliminate any superficial foundations that don't align with your higher self and your dreams. This is a time to recognize and rise above any ego-based thoughts and behaviors, for humility and authenticity are the key to your success. In order to improve your current situation, you're being asked to adjust to and harmonize with the natural rhythms and cycles of your life. Cycles that are leading you towards a higher level of understanding and awareness. This transformation is inevitable. So know that this is very exciting. This is a very exciting time for you. This is a very exciting time for you. Are about to become the best you can be. So yeah, I like that reading for you guys. That was a good one right there. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this reading. Please click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you guys another time. All right.